Shalom, this is your brother Moth coming back with another video. Before we start off, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, prophet and teaching is true. Peace, blessings, and salutation to the elect who is scattered amongst the other nations, going back to the forefathers in the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that we know today. And I want to title this video, You Can't Help Everyone. And, what brought me to this topic was, I had like a discussion, big conversation with one of my family member. He was explaining like, it's just not the right way, this and that, you should do this, you should do that, et cetera, et cetera. But the whole time going into, the scriptures, trying to explain to him that everything that's in the Bible is coming to pass and it's the truth. Like this is real. Like stuff that's happened is coming to pass, and we at the end of times. And the more I explain it to him, the more I just understand that it's just not going to get through. And even though I already known that it wasn't meant to be, because it wasn't the will of the Most High, it just opened my eyes even more, that a lot of people can't be helped. And I was talking to a friend, and basically we're having this conversation that not everybody was meant to be helped. Not everybody needs help. Like we can't always be there for someone who doesn't want help, or we can't always be there for someone who doesn't who can't handle their own things, because at the end of the day we got to work out our own salvation. We got to work out our own problems. We got to work out our own trials, tribulation, and things that's going on in this wicked world. We got to focus on ourselves and worry about handling ourselves. We can't always be there to help everyone and every person, because at the end of the day we can't save ourselves and we can't save them. Neither they can save us. The only people that can save us is Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And I want to get Philippians 2:12. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And, this is a big thing because this one of the scriptures that I think about the most, whether I'm, in the faith and doing the right things for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, walking in that path of doing what's right for them, so I could be kind of worthy, and making sure I speak the right truth and do the works, but that's why we always got to examine ourselves whenever it comes to pass. And we're gonna get that in 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith, prove your own self. This is a big thing. We got to prove our own self. We can't look and see what the other brothers or people doing in the faith, whether they doing what they gotta whether what they doing or how they doing it and stuff like that. We got to focus on our own selves. That's the main priority, is focus on yourself. You can't always worry about the other person. Yeah, we can help them push them to go forward, and to build them up. But at the end of the day, we can't always save them. If it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. You can't force it. And that's stuff that I'm trying to focus on and work on right now. Trying to help balance my own self up, because that's one of the main things that I need to pray on and fast for, working out and balancing my life and stuff like that. And I want to get into Matthew 7:13 and 14. It says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and the broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. And that when you go into the straight gate, when you enter into that straight gate, they got the wide and then they got the narrow. It says because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which lead unto life, and few there be that find it. So when you go into that narrow path, um, it's a very hard, what I'm saying, and very what's the word? It's a very hard path to go through, and not too many people go through it because it's only made for one person to go at a time. Not too many people go, side by side, because on one side you got, a body of ocean, and then the other side you got, a lake of fire, you know, and you don't want to fall into none of it. And it says, for the wide is the gate, and the broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in it. A lot of people try to, get in through, the back door, try to, sneak their way in or stuff like that, which is impossible because you got to go through the gate, and that gate is, Yahweh Shai. And that's why it's a big thing to know them names, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being his son, his begotten son, and Yahweh Shai being a mediator for us to get to the Heavenly Father. And that's why we got to call upon his name, to get to the Heavenly Father. And that's why the names are very important to us. And we're going to go to Romans 1, 7 and 8. It says, What then Israel has not attained, which he seeketh for, but the election has attained it, and the rest were blinded. According to as written, the Most High has given them the spirit of slumber, and eyes they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. And, like we talked about, not everybody was meant for this truth. Not everybody was, elected or called. Not everybody was called into this truth, this faith. It was given unto us. The chosen people, the few chosen people that was called into this. It says, but the election has attained it. Only the elect, was able to attain it. And the rest were blinded because they got that spirit of slumber on them. The Most High just didn't want to give it to them. It wasn't his will. Because everybody is in their own lot. The people who don't get the truth, they're in their own lot. And there's nothing that you could do about it. No way. No matter how much you try to break it down, explain it, dumb it down for them. Try to shake them off. That sleep is just gonna be on them. They can never wake up from that. That's a hard thing, to come out of, and that's why we should always fear, Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai. Because the start of wisdom is fear. Wisdom and understanding is the fear of Yahweh by Hashem Yahshai. That's the only way we can have that. And we go to Matthew 10, and I want to read 34 and on down. It says, Think not that I came to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And when you go into the sword, sword is like destruction. It's not going to be peace. A lot of people thinking this is going to be it's going to be peace after what's going on overseas. Like whenever World War III breaks out and Jacob's trouble comes, they don't think that that's going to come to pass, or is going to they still thinking that they got faith in what's about to come after all that stuff is going to happen. That's not going to happen. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed. There's going to be a lot of people being unalive, raped and all this stuff like that. When Jacob's trouble comes, it's going to be a bad thing. And that's why we're trying to tell our people, before that time's come, before the famine of the word hits. Because already we can see that they passing these bills, to silence the truth. But at the end of the day, you can never silence the truth that's coming out. It will always spread out to the world. And it will be given out to all these people, to let them know to turn back and to follow the ways after Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai, and they don't, then they'll, it just wasn't meant to be for them. We're gonna read 35 on down. It says, For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. And your worst enemy, when those time comes, could be, your family members, could be people that's close to you, and that's why we got to be, wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We gotta be wise. We can't always go out there and try to, give this truth to everybody that we see. We gotta be we gotta be wise. We gotta be circumspect, diligent. Where I'm at. And it says, he that loveth his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. He that taketh not his cross and follow after me, he is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. And it's not literally saying hate your father and hate your father and them, but it's basically saying you got to put them second. You got to put this truth, this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding first before everything that comes in your life. That's why you always got to give praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai, because without them, you wouldn't come into this faith. And faith was given to us. Faith is not something that you could just pick up and have. It's just something that has to be given to you. It has to be bestowed upon you. And that's why you should always be grateful and honored that you was, given that chance, given that faith to, to do right and turn back. And it says, he that taketh not his cross. Like I said, we all got to work out our own fear. We got to work out our own fear, our own salvation with fear and trembling. And, fearing of the Most High, it's the beginning of learning, understanding the wisdom and understanding knowledge that we have today. And follow after me is not worthy of me. And he that findeth his life shall lose it. And he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. A lot of people like to cleave on to this light that they have, thinking that, it's going to get better when, in actuality, everything's finna hit the fan. Like, shit is already hitting the fan right now. A lot of people trying to save on, it can't be saved. It's already done. Why cleave on to something when it's not even your rulership? We still under captivity. What sense would it make to try to build a kingdom in another kingdom? It's impossible. So put this, put those worldly thoughts away, and cleave on to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai. And, you'll have everlasting life, It says, he that loses his life for my sake shall find it, You'll find your true life. You'll find your true purpose. You'll find, everlasting life. You'll, rule over. You'll have your own kingdom, But you gotta put all these worldly things, and come into this faith and cleave onto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai, lean not onto your own understanding. And we're going to go to 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. We're going to read down to 18. It says, be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Right? And, two people with two different ways, could never prosper. Can never prosper. Because y'all always going to be butting heads. Y'all always going to have a disagreement with one each other, And, you're not even supposed to, be around them, like that. You're not even supposed to be around them in general. You don't want to be around those type of people because they're going to bring you out the truth. The more that you hang around them, the more that you just going to doing their ways. They're going to start rubbing off on you. So you want to move away from them altogether. And it says, what concord have Hamashiach with Belial? And that's basically Baal, like wickedness. Or what part has he that delivered with infidel? And what agreement has the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power. As the Most High has said, I dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they should be my people. Right? The Most High, dwell in the righteous, and that's why we put ourselves as a living sacrifice, because we are that temple. He dwells in us. That's why we're supposed to do what we're supposed to do and walk in that light. And don't be more, don't have a carnally mind, but a spiritual mind. We got to be more on our spiritual side than the carnally side. It says, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, said Yahweh. Said Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, touch not the unclean things, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my son and daughters, said Yahweh Almighty. And right, supposed to come out from among them, be separate from them, because set apart, that goes into holy. And we are holy people, so we're supposed to be separate. We're supposed to be set apart from them. We're supposed to not be around them and do those things that they do, but be set apart and walk in righteousness. And and that's why supposed to be around your Achians and Aquathians, your brothers and sisters, and work with them, dwell with them, because they have the same mindset as you. And the more you be around them and talk to them, the more you're gonna be in the faith, because you have the same mindset. But that's all I have. Lord willing, it was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kadash, the advice to the apostles and elders and great millstone who rule well. And peace, blessing, and salutation to the elect who are scattered amongst the other nations, who is a speckled bird going to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Shalom.